Hi, on the previous video for the LaCroix oscilloscope repair, you saw me use this Flir E60 infrared camera, and I thought we'd just play around with it a bit more and take a look at it. It's about 12,000 Australian dollars worth. It's the top of the line in their E-series models. They, they've got a whole bunch of them. This is the top of the range one with 320 by 240 resolution sensor in it, as well as a 320 by 240 resolution screen. So I thought we'd have a play around with it, have a look at the interface. Now on the front here we have a pretty impressive looking infrared lens. I think it can accept optional lenses as well. On the front we've got focus adjust ring here, it's manual focus. On the top here we've got a laser pointer, so you just press the button down here and you've got a laser pointer. There is a bit of a parallax error there, of course, because it's not directly in line with the sensor, so it's only really good at larger distances. And then we've got a camera lamp up here. It's a LED, of course, it just like a flash for the digital camera that we've got here. And you'll see some of the modes we play around with on this thing. We can actually superimpose our infrared image onto our video, onto the camera as well. And under this flap here we have an SD card and we have a video out as well. The SD card is used to save the image, which is done by the trigger here. So you just pull the trigger and it saves the current image on the screen directly to a JPEG on the SD card, or it can save video as well if you're in video mode. So this thing will actually output composite video to an external monitor, which is quite neat if you want to look on a larger screen. But of course you're not going to get any increased resolution because the sensor's only 320 by 240. Now when I say only 320 by 240, that's a pretty darn impressive resolution for an infrared camera, and that's what you pay for. Huge amount of money. Keypad interface, it's fairly generic. You got a menu key over here which calls up stuff which we'll have a look at, and OK and arrow keys, and not much else really. Power button and a play button. Now over on this side here we have a USB interface and a charging port as well. It's got like a custom little power jack in there. Don't really like it. I love the rubber. Look at the rubber boots they've got on these. They really want to seal out the dust and the crap and the moisture. You could probably use this thing in the rain or something like that. It's IP rated. I don't know. I haven't looked at the specs. I've only been playing with this thing for like 30 minutes, like an hour or something. So really, this is not going to be a full review. I don't know a huge amount of technical detail about it. Now we have the battery in here. You get a separate charger as well, and it all comes in a funky case. Well, it'd want to for $12,000. And there's the funky case. It is very impressive. It's like a Pelican type flight case, and it comes with the charger, spare battery. I've got the other battery charging at the moment. The connection leads, a couple of quick start guides, and some software, because I'm sure you can do a lot more than what I'm going to show you today. Now as you can see, by default it powers on there, and it gives you the center pointer position, which tells you the spot temperature right in the center, and we can adjust our focus there. We can pull that in line. I've got the board down there, and it's actually there's a bit of parallax in there. It's not looking down there, it's looking sort of that area up there. So that's what we've got here, and we can focus that, and it is very impressive resolution on this thing. Now by default it has that spot temperature. It seems to like freeze every once in a while. I don't know whether or not that's normal or not. Not entirely sure what's going on there, but anyway, we can call up the menu here and let's take a look at the various modes. Now zoom mode, not terribly exciting. The parameters, if we go into the parameters, we can do all the emissivity stuff, the distance, atmospheric temperature, window compensation, all that sort of jazz. And we can change our palette. So if we don't like the particular display color, there's a grayscale version of it. It's not really as nice as the others. We've got Arctic. Oh, look at that. Isn't that lovely? So that's really quite neat. So it's got all those different palette modes. Really quite enjoy those. Oh, rainbow. What do we got? I think that Arctic one was pretty neat. Anyway, let's leave it on that, shall we? And we'll go down to here. We've got tools. Let's have a look at what we've got in tools. We've got, so we can add spot. Let's add a spot. Let's go in here and we can, I presume, move that around. So that's a manual spot. So if you want, I mean, this thing mounts on a tripod as well, by the way. It's got a tripod mount down here. So that probably would be better if I had the thing mounted on a tripod, but we can set that spot to down there, for example, and we can, I don't know, no, we don't really need to center it because we've already got a center one. So let's get out of that. So we should, no, yeah, there we go. So we've got our second spot now. So we've got two fixed spots, and let's try and add, we want to go down isotherm. Let's go and have a look what that does. Let's go into the isotherm here and we can add, let's go above, and there you go. It shows what's above, I presume, a certain above or below, a certain temp. I think that's how isotherm works. Not entirely sure. So let's call that up again. And we can get a difference as well. And you can choose a difference setup. You can choose which ones that you want to use as the reference and stuff like that. So we don't want to do that. Let's go out of that. Now here's where the fun begins, folks. We're going to put thermal fusion mode on. And what this does is it overlays the thermal image onto the digital camera. So you can see that it really is quite neat. You've got to set it up correctly, of course. We're on that rainbow mode at the moment. I don't particularly like that. So let's go in there and let's go back to iron mode that we started off with. And there we go. So we can, it overlays that temperature. You can see the heatsink there warming up, and it overlays. I don't know how it actually detects which ones are, you know, what threshold to actually display the image at, but it is quite neat. You can actually overlay that on the digital image, so I really like that. Interval above, below. Oh, okay. There we go. So we've got auto. So let's try above. So it will only do things that are above a set temperature, I'm presuming. Something like that. Next up, let's try picture in picture, because this one is quite jazzy as well. Now, there we go. That just has the thermal image in the center and the digital camera around the outside of that. I don't particularly like that palette we're on at all. So there you go. We can see the thermal image in the center there, surrounded by the digital camera. You can see the hot spots inside the ICs there. We'll take a look at that in a second because that's really quite jazzy. But that is really quite nice, the picture-in-picture and the thermal fusion modes. I really like those, but they're sort of like the three major modes, and we can record video as well. If we go down to, where is it? There we go. We're in camera mode at the moment, but we can actually go into video mode, and we can press the save button to start, and we can actually, so if we go around like that, we scan around, and we will press the button, trigger again, and it's saved that video. So, yep. Takes a while. It's a, you know, it's not the fastest thing out there, but it does actually work. Bingo, there it is. There is our video. So let's play that. There. Now here, folks, is a very good example of infrared reflection off a shiny metallic surface. Now take a look down here. We've got this metal can here, and the metal can is, you know, it is pretty darn hot, right? But you'll see the reflection of these squares on the power supply onto this and reflecting up into the camera. Let's take a look at it. Check it out. There it is. You can see the reflections off that. So you've got to be careful when you're using these things of those shiny surfaces that can reflect things that aren't genuinely hot. And here's another example of that reflection as well. Take a look at the aluminium capacitor we've got down there, and of course it's got a shiny metal surface on it. And if we look at that through the camera, let's get a focus, let's get good focus on that. There we go. Look at that. You can actually see that you would think that the top of that can is a different temperature to its outside. It's not. It's just because it is a shiny metal surface. Now take a look at the resolution on that. We can see all the via holes in there and everything. That's very, very impressive stuff. It really is quite remarkable. We'll see the connector there, and we can see the heat sinks, of course. We can focus on those. We can see all the individual fins. Very impressive stuff. Now, as far as its macro capability goes, it's not that great. I mean, I'm as close as I can get there, and I'm probably 7 inches away or something from the object, and I can't adjust the focus anymore. I'm going in closer. I simply cannot get that anymore. It's too close. So about 7 inches is the minimum distance, or they're about 6 or 7 inches away. Now here's a real good example of the thermal fusion mode, which is overlaying those hot heat sinks there on the real live digital image of the board, and you can adjust the focus so that it goes from, you know, really blurry like that, just blob type stuff, and you get the focus right, and then it really shows the heat sink superimposed. It really is quite neat. I love this thermal fusion mode. And if you try and look at other parts of the lab that are pretty much essentially at the same temperature, I mean, there's my arcade machine over there in the corner with a chair, and but because there's no real, there's not huge differences between those, it is quite hard to see the you know, you can certainly see the objects, but it's certainly not as nice as when there's a bigger thermal difference between them. And if you take a look at my ADSL Wi-Fi router on there, you can actually see through the case of this thing. It's a big fuzzy blob, and then you put it in focus and you can really, you know, see right through the case to the main, you know, presumably the main processor inside that's consuming most of the heat. So you can physically see where it is inside the case without having to take the case off. Great stuff, and I'm doing this like standing a meter away. Now this is really fascinating. What I've got here is I've got my JBC soldering iron. So there it is there, okay, and if you have a look at it, you can see the hot spots inside where they're joined, where the wires are connected inside the actual iron itself, like inside the handle of the iron. I mean, there's the tip all the way down there, but you can see where they're actually joined inside the iron. Terrific. And you can really see very clearly the shiny legs on my desk chair there, and you can see under the desk, you can see the well, you can see the arms of the chair there. You can see the plug packs down in there. There's various plug packs really getting quite warm down there. There's another wireless router on the side there, and the PC under my desk, which is lit up like a Christmas tree. And it's really quite nice. You can see the aircon vent up there is pumping out like 15-degree air. It's got a little streamer attached to it so you can see when the air is coming out. And if we can switch over to maybe thermal fusion mode perhaps. Let's give that a go. There we go. So it shows you the temperature differences overlaid on the real image. That's quite nice. And then we could go in there and choose picture-in-picture mode, and boom, that just allows us to look around like that. There's my LED lights. You can see those. That really is quite neat. And of course, if I want to record video on that. Let's put it back to the thermal fusion mode. Here we go, thermal fusion mode, and I'll record video. I'll press the trigger, that will start recording. You can see the little timer on there, and that will record a nice little video, which I should be able to include in the clip in here. And then we can pan down to the room. There we go. Focus in on the other side. We've got the arcade machine over there. Got my plant over there. There's my other tripod. I've got my trolley. It's a bit of a mess, the old lab. There you go. Even though everything in here is supposed to be at the same temperature, you can see the stool in front of the arcade machine over there. There you go. So this is all being captured in the video mode, and then if I press the trigger again, I can save it. 49 seconds, and bingo. And there you go, we can actually play that video back on the screen. It's a little bit jerky. I'm not sure what the frame rate on this. I found really one dumb feature. A little tiny battery icon up there. I think it's too small. I think it should be much larger than that, maybe like a horizontal one or something like that. But anyway, it shows up in regular camera mode, but if we go down here to into video mode, it disappears. So you know, that's it. Why wouldn't you show the battery icon all the time? Crazy. Now I'm home at the moment, inside one of our bedrooms, and check this out. You can actually see the beams behind the wall there. I mean, once again, we've got that angle thing, we've got that parallax error there, but that's actually pointing up towards the corner. That hot spot there, right in the, well, hot spot, right in the center is the corner, and you can see the beams in the wall there. And if I pan right over to the other side, you can actually see one of the cross braces going down the side of the wall like that. Absolutely amazing. You can see all of the beams in the roof as well, right through the wall, because the roof space, of course, would be warmer. It's a fairly hot day here, even though it was overcast, so that roof space, of course, is heated up. And of course, a very typical use for these things is in the termite industry. They can look through walls and they can find termites, and I would presume that the termites would, show up as a thermal signature. You'd be able to see their trail or something like that. Now you can see the cross brace in the wall going across like that as well. You can see them in the center of the wall. Brilliant stuff. And once again, the reason that the corners appear to be brighter when they're not actually, warmer is because there's we're getting infrared reflection off those corners there. So that's why they appear to be bright. Alright, here I am outside at night. It's pretty damn dark. The only light is inside the house there, and here's the thermal image of that. You can't see through the glass like the TV is on there. You actually can't see that at all. And once we get out here though, it is completely dark. I mean, let's have a look in the garage. Here we go. I mean, you can't see anything on camera there, but there's the car, all lit up like a Christmas tree. That's the wife's car. It's still warm. So let's head on out and have a look around. We can see all the furniture out here and out into the darkness. I mean, there is a tree down there. I can't see it on the viewfinder at all, but it certainly shows up on the IR. Check it out, and you can still see all the concrete. Concrete garden beds and stuff are still lit up like a Christmas tree. There's the steps. I could easily walk up and down these. There's a plant, and there there's the back garden over there. Let's go have a look at the frog pond, which is down in here. I can barely see anything, especially when my night vision hasn't adjusted, because I'm staring at the screen. Now you can't see anything on that, but there is the frog pond. Once again, all lit up. You can see the grate on top, and maybe if there was a frog in there, I can't hear him, but we might be able to see him. There's the house next door. Once again, there's nothing on camera there. It doesn't show up at all, but that house is lit up like the proverbial Christmas tree. So there you go. This is really quite nice. I could navigate easily in the dark here. Not a problem. So and you see the grass down the bottom there. There's all the concrete edging on the garden bed. Go around the side of the house. There's the water tank. All the pipe work. Got to be careful I don't trip on something. You can really easily see the gate. Not a problem at all. And let's open this up. And there is a street light out here, so you can actually see some stuff now on the main camera. And there's a car up there. I can see it much easily than I can with my own eyes. It really stands out. And there's the front garden. There's the front door. You can see our platypus lit up. Let's go in and have a look at our platypus. There it is. Isn't it beautiful? All lit up. Lovely stained glass platypus. And I can see myself in the window. Hello. Woohoo. Terrific. I love it. Really works well in the dark. Fantastic. Alright, now I'm facing the tree down in the bottom of the garden down there, and you can see it on the thermal camera, no problems. There's a big step down. You can even see the bird bath right there in the centre. You can see the tree limbs on there and the trunk, but you can't see anything on the main camera because it's not bright enough. But if I shine a torch down there, there it is, lit up, and it really essentially makes no difference at all to the infrared image, of course, absolutely none. It works day and night. Beautiful. So there you have it. That's a quick little play around with the Flir E60 thermal imaging camera. Fantastic. If you can afford one of these puppies, get it. Catch you next time.